This is R2D Tech, and this week we're going to be talking about the Beats Fit Pro. Are they worth your money? How good do they sound? What's the noise cancellation like? Lots of different questions, so stay tuned. First up, what are these earbuds designed for? What's their main use case? And it's pretty clear to me after using these for over a month that they're excellent in a sporting environment, primarily because of the wingtips which they have and the silicone, which makes a really good seal. So when you put these in your ears and twist, they just lock in better than anything I've tried before, at least in my ears. And that makes them great for running around, if you're going to be sweating as well, things like that. So that's a very clear use case for these things. In terms of how these things actually connect to your phone, if you have an iPhone, that's where these really shine because they're made by Apple. They have the H1 chip in there, which means that they function pretty much like AirPods. You just open the case, it will show up automatically on your phone, you click connect, that's it, piece of cake. But if you have Android, it's slightly more complicated. You do have the option to get an app, and they'll work via Bluetooth, so more like a conventional pair of earbuds, but you still get a really nice experience through the app and you can tweak a lot of settings, things like that. Probably the most important thing when it comes to buying a pair of earphones, of course, is the sound quality and other features like noise cancellation, transparency mode, spatial audio, all of which these earphones have. And I will say that the sound quality is very impressive for a pair of earbuds. It sounds very clean, it has a really good punch on the bass being Beats, especially compared to some other earphones like the base model AirPods out there. I think they've done a better job at tuning these ones, to be honest, in my opinion. But also the noise cancellation is really good. I've tried it on a plane, train, the underground where it's really noisy. No, it's not going to cancel out everything. You are going to still hear a bit of talking, a bit of ambient noise, but it's definitely cancelled down a lot compared to just not having them on at all, which is sort of what you're looking for anyway. It's not going to be like the most expensive pair of Sony headphones, of course, but for what it is, it's doing a really good job. The most impressive part, I think, is the transparency mode, which is probably the best I've ever heard on any pair of earbuds or headphones. It's the least artificial sounding transparency mode I've ever heard. It sounds pretty much like somebody's just talking to you. It doesn't sound at all cheap or tinny or metallic or anything like that. So if that's what you're looking for, then these are definitely the ones for you. Spatial audio is pretty good, pretty impressive. I've tested it with my iPhone. You can sort of turn your head and it will sound like the noise is moving around you or you're moving within the sound. Don't really know how to explain it, but it's probably going to be more useful when you're actually watching a movie or something like that, which has spatial audio or Dolby Atmos and all of that stuff, where you can sort of get a more 3D effect from the sound. You know, you can hear a helicopter coming in from behind you, that sort of thing. So for that use case, I can imagine it being really impressive, although I haven't really used it extensively myself. Probably worth adding that the controls for active noise cancellation and transparency mode can quite conveniently be toggled on and off by holding your finger down on the button on either earbud, or if you have an iPhone, you can go into the control center, hold on the volume, and you'll be able to toggle it on there along with spatial audio as well. Unfortunately, if you have Android, you won't be able to do it quite as easily. You'll have to go into the app to do it, or probably easier is just to use your finger to hold on the earbud. In addition to those on-ear controls, you can also do the standard play and pause if you single click either earbud, or you can skip songs by double clicking as well. And the button is quite nice and haptic. It isn't too hard to press if you're doing sports or something like that. I prefer it to a touch control like on the original AirPods because you're less likely to accidentally toggle it on and off. Now in terms of how these things actually look, and you know, the case size, the actual earbuds themselves, what do they look like, what do they feel like, I will say the case is larger than AirPods, that's for sure. You can even see it. It's quite a chunky case. It's not the slickest of things. You can put it in your pocket just fine. I do it all the time. It is going to be a bit more bulky than just putting your AirPods in your pocket, of course, but you're getting quite a lot more than you are with your AirPods in these things, I think, at least, with the wingtips, especially for sports. So I think it's definitely worth the trade-off. It depends what you're really using your earbuds for. If you're just going to be using them, on your walk to work or whatever, then, you can get the AirPods Pro and they'll be just fine. But if you want to be using these in the gym extensively or out running when it's raining, all that sort of stuff, then you probably do want something like this where it's more rugged, it's got these really nice wing tips. It's not going to fall out of your ears. That's probably the best thing, the peace of mind that when you're on a run or in the gym, it's not just going to fail on you and fall out. They're definitely quite creative with the color schemes that they've gone for. There's a whole host of colors that you can choose from, but the main ones which are available in most places are the Beats Black, Beats White, and my personal favorite and the ones I've gone for, which is the Sage Grey. And you can see that they've got a nice minty sort of color on the inside. They're definitely more playful than the AirPods, which only come in white. In terms of design, apart from the size of the case, I give them a 10 out of 10. The next important thing to consider is the battery life and charging and all the fun stuff like that. In my use case, which is about half an hour a day, the case lasts me about 2 weeks before I have to recharge it. But of course, if you're using the earbuds for longer, maybe an hour a day or even more, then you'll probably have to recharge the case within every week, which I think is still absolutely excellent. It's on par with the AirPods or the AirPods Pro, so it shines in that department. The only annoying thing, for me at least, is that the case doesn't have wireless charging. I don't know why. Most other premium earbuds, including the AirPods Pro, have it, so it's definitely a bit of a downside, although for most people that doesn't really matter. On the plus side, it does charge with USB-C, which is always nice and is probably the most universal cable out there anyway, so that's nice to see. The last thing to consider is the price. Now in the UK, you can pick these up for £199 on the official website, but if you go onto Amazon, you can get them for slightly cheaper, about £170 or £180, depending on your choice of colour. I think this is perfectly reasonable for what you're getting. In terms of the comparison with AirPods, they're slightly more expensive than the base model, but cheaper than the AirPods Pro, and in my opinion, you're getting more than the AirPods Pro with these. Getting slightly better bass and sound quality, in my opinion, of course, and you're also getting the wingtips, which mean they're really versatile and great for going to the gym or running, things like that. But in addition, you're getting probably the best transparency mode that I've ever tried on a pair of AirPods, and really decent active noise cancellation. So I think they're definitely worth the money. So overall, I think these are probably the best pair of wireless earbuds I've tested so far, even compared to the AirPods, just because they have slightly better bass and sound quality in my opinion, but also they have that extra versatility with the wingtips, so you can use them in a sporting environment and not worry about them falling out, which is really important to me. Of course, there are those cons like the case size and the charging, but it will depend on your specific use case, whether that's a big deal for you and whether it's a better choice for you to get these or the AirPods. That's it for this week. Really positive review. I could definitely recommend these things to most people. If you like the video, then please leave a thumbs up. Definitely leave some comments below, ask questions, make comments on anything you disagree with. If you want to see more content like this in the future, then smash the subscribe button and notification bell below, and I'll see you next time.